The most violent criminals who commit the most horrible crimes go, naturally, to the prisons with the worst conditions. These are truly horrible places and serious punishment for rapists, pedophiles, terrorists, maniacs and the like. It is worth noting that most criminals know about such places of detention and are very afraid to go there. Judging by surveys and numerous journalistic investigations, most of those who have received life sentences and are serving their sentences in these places would not mind changing their sentence to the death penalty, because being there and realizing that this is how it will be for the rest of your life is very scary.
Black Dolphin. This prison is located in the Orenburg region. Maniacs, murderers, cannibals, rapists, lifers, etc. are kept here. Documentary films are often shot about this prison, and journalists conduct investigations as well as interview convicts. Usually up to 2-3 people live in a cell. But if a criminal is convicted for violent crimes, he will sit in solitary confinement. Those who cannot get along with their cellmates also go there. The administration does not weaken control over the detainees for a minute, and the lights are never turned off. Surveillance is carried out absolutely everywhere with the help of video surveillance cameras. In addition, the officers on duty make a check every 15 minutes. The day for detainees starts at 6 a.m. Lights out is at 10 p.m. In the morning, prisoners make their beds and may not sit or lie down on them during the day. They may sit only on chairs and stools that are available in the cells. Outside the cell, the convict is led by a convoy, which consists of 3 to 4 people and a dog. It is not allowed to move with the head up, movement only in a bent position, and hands should be kept behind the back. If a prisoner is moved from one unit to another, he is blindfolded so that he does not memorize the road and the location of buildings. No one has ever escaped from the Black Dolphin. There are about 800 prisoners in the prison. The number of staff is 900 people. Among the famous criminals, there are cannibal Vladimir Nikolaev, the Ripper from Togliatti, Oleg Rilkov, serial killer and fan of Chikatilo Vladimir Mukankin, terrorist who killed 64 people, Isa Zainudinov, extremist Tamerlan Aliyev, and many others.
Snowflake. The prison with the cute name Snejinka is considered to be one of the most terrible prisons in Russia. It was named so because of the arrangement of the buildings in the shape of a snowflake. The penal colony is located in Khabarovsk Krai, in the village of Elban. No one has ever escaped from this prison. Maybe, of course, it will happen in the future, because the colony is new. It was built relatively recently, in 2012. In this place, there are those who received life sentences, terrorists, murderers, maniacs, rapists, etc. Also, the most modern and perfect security system is located here. Here, motion sensors, cameras, are located literally every meter. And to open the door, it is necessary to scan the retina of the eye. In total, there are 144 cells in the prison, where 378 prisoners are sitting. By the way, this is where the first guests were brought from the prison Black Berkut when it was closed. The daily routine practically does not differ from the regime of the Black Dolphin. In Snowflake, criminals in their free time are allowed to watch TV, play chess, and read. There is also a special store where they are allowed to buy sweets. In the first 10 years of serving time, it is allowed to spend no more than 6,000 rubles. At the same time, the money must be earned. There are such famous people as bandit Stanislav Tishchenko, Maxim Kiselev, Novokuznetsk thug Alexander Lozhkin, murderer from the Middle Urals, and others. Mordovian Prison. Women's Correctional Colony number 14 is located, as you can understand from the name, in Mordovia.
It is one of the most horrible colonies in Russia. Inmates here are in very harsh conditions, but in addition, there are also frequent facts of violation of the rights of convicts. Nadezhda Tolokonnikova, a member of the infamous group Pussy Riot, first talked about the lawlessness in this penal institution. But her words were not given any importance. However, in 2018, it became known that prisoners here work overtime and often even at night. In essence, the people held here are slaves. In this prison, women who have committed serious crimes, including murder, are serving their sentences. There is not enough space in the cells, and many convicts sleep under beds or simply on the floor. Adequate medical care is not provided, and almost every second inmate here has tuberculosis or syphilis. About 40 to 60 people can sit in one cell at a time. There are regular fights here, and it happens much more often than in male colonies. Despite the fact that the food in the colony is considered balanced, it is rather meagre. Poor quality products are purchased for prisoners, and this greatly affects the health of convicts. If a woman has close relatives, they can give her food to cook and eat separately. But there are frequent cases when food is simply taken away by other, senior prisoners.
The polar owl. Colony is located in the Yamalo-Nenets Autonomous District. There are 330 criminals behind its walls. The buildings are in poor condition and some of them are already in disrepair. The conditions of detention here are as harsh as possible. The weather is also not pleasant. In winter, the average temperature here is 40 degrees. Only 1 month, July, is considered summer. In this colony sit state criminals, recidivists, extremists, murderers. Also, here, resonance cases took place. After the trial of Yuri Sandrikin, Lieutenant Colonel of FSIN, it became known that many convicts were bullied and beaten. If you are an exemplary prisoner, you have money. You will be placed in a quite comfortable cell with everything you need. Prisoners do not walk outside, only in a special room where there is no ceiling and instead there is a grate. In Polar Owl, there is Bitsevsky Maniac, Alexander Pichushkin, whose victims were 48 people. Petersburg Maniac, Dmitry Voronenko, who killed 4 people, Nurpasha Kulaev, Beslan terrorist, Denis Evsyukov, policeman who shot people in a store. The White Swan. Special regime colony is located in the Perm region, in Solikamsk. It appeared in 1938 and was a camp point through which a huge number of political prisoners passed. In 1980, this place became a re-education for thieves in law. Then, incidentally, the colony acquired a modern look and status. There were 4,500 prisoners in White Swan. In 1999, the colony began to hold those sentenced to life imprisonment. The main feature of the colony is the toughest detention regime among all correctional institutions of the Russian Federation. By the way, where exactly the name of the colony came from, it is not known. There are several assumptions. The first is that the prison was named because of the color of the walls, but a more likely reason is the way the prisoners move around the prison. The guards guide the prisoners through the territory in the swan pose, bent, hands behind at an angle of 90 degrees. In the yard, there is a monument to swans. Now, in the White Swan are held life prisoners, and those who have committed particularly serious crimes. Among them, there are many gang members, rapists, murderers, heads of organized crime groups, etc. There are a lot of people who committed kidnappings and hostage takers, killers. In total, about 300 people are being held now. Detainees can sit in cells from 1 to 3 people. Near each cell, there is a dossier on the detained criminals so that the guards always know with whom they are dealing. Psychologists often work here. The colony has a library, a prison stall, places for walks, etc.